Alright, these are the 120-pound lifters. They work beautifully. It hovers around here. It's about 8 pounds to hold it up if I could just, one finger it up to the ceiling. And when I get it down here, when I push it down, to hold it this way is like 90 to 100 pounds of force to get it to stay there. So it works. But I bought the linear actuators. Here they are. They're slow as shit. To get this full length out and back is 42 seconds. But here's my thinking. Okay, the lifters work. Now I got to devise a system that holds the screen up to the ceiling. And then I got to devise a system that holds the screen down with a lot of force against it. And all I have to deal with are these two little pegs on the end. So I got to somehow manage to get those, because you can't touch, that whole frame is going to be wrapped in the fabric of the screen material. So you can't physically touch it. So I got to either put a bar across that, because you're not going to be able to push down evenly on those two. They're too far apart. So it's like, the lifters are cheaper, and the lifters work. But now I got to, rack my brain doing systems that hold it up and hold it down. And I was going to do magnets, or I was going to do loops that come around. There's going to be a stick to hold it up. Linear actuator is... The penalty for this is annoying to open and close. Because it'll auto stop at the extremes of its lift, which is going to come in real handy on one thing. But then to do the other way, if I put a toggle switch and not a push button, I have to shut off the toggle switch before this reaches the point where the screen is down. Because in other words, it lines up like perfect, like this, perfectly lined up. It's just perfectly lined up. And actually it'll be going this way. This would be going down, and then it's to stay like this, and then it lines up. Yeah, it's perfect. So if it comes to the extreme out, pushing up, it just stops. These motors automatically have switches built in that they can't go past their extremes. So that's not a problem. The problem is when I'm pulling it down, or letting it come down, this motor will keep going all the way to there. And if I don't stop it, it's probably going to get too short and just start destroying things. It'll be like 450 pounds of pulling force doing bad. So that means that's why they have push buttons. They don't have toggles for these things. If you're going to go extremes, you can go toggle on, extreme out, toggle in, extreme in. But it's not going to ever make it that far. It's going to stop here somewhere. So that means I either have to get real creative with like a dip switch, one of those little push switches that goes click, and it'll just disable power. Or I have to make it a button. A button to go down, a toggle to go up. Momentary and constant. It's doable. It is doable. I spent so much time worrying about these lifters, and these work so well. Here, I just needed to get it up so I could see if the length of that would work. She just sits right there. Alright, so obviously I can't push it any higher than that. I'd have to have a stick. And then when I go down, Chewbacca, like look where I'm pushing from, first of all. This is going to be covered in screen. This whole plane will be screen, and I won't be able to push from here. So these are the only things that are going to be exposed. And these are a pretty far apart thing to grab. So then I'd have to probably bridge it with the goddamn handle here. And then I'm pushing down this handle, and it's just getting... like it's getting there. If I let go of this, it'll pretty much punch me in the throat. And now if I got a handle here, look, I'm all going against this cabinet. And then how on God's green earth do I have these attached to like the wall if I can't see? This is a big plane of fabric. Magnets aren't going to work. I can't just go click magnets. These are, I could probably get magnets that'll hold it. we're looking at like some severe magnets. And do you trust the magnet not to just go up and, you know, decapitate someone? I mean, I'm so glad they work. I am. But I think I'm now going to forfeit their use and go for the linear actuators. I got all the parts. I got the power supply. I even have a stupid switch they provided. I want a better switch. I have to order that. But for using those means I don't have to worry about locking it up. I don't have to worry about locking it down. It just goes and stops, and that's it. So I think... Yes, I know, Chewbacca. I think I'm going to have to return all the lift supports that I bought. All 4 of them. I have 4 from Amazon, which were the same, and then these 2, the 120s and the 180s, they all got to go back. It'll be better in the end, and it's just going to take 40 something. It'll probably take slightly less than 40 seconds to change from up to down. But like I've told many a person, a man just wants more buttons and switches. Just get into a car. If there's so many, I need to start my car. If I need to flip like 3 switches and turn a dial and then pump something to start it, oh, get you fizzy down there. Who don't want to get into a car and it's just running? That's boring. We want to do things. Remember that scene in Jurassic Park when she's starting up all the power? I love that scene. She had to do all these steps, manly steps. Hmm? Yeah. Alright. More on this when I care. Alright. Lift supports are down. The new hot craze is going to be linear actuators. Now, a roommate was smart enough to realize, hey, you should take one that's open. Here's the thing. These will auto stop at the extremes. Right? All the way out and all the way in. So it auto stop there and it auto stop there. Right? It's about 16 inches. Now I could sit and do math on paper all day and that's going to really suck. Or I could try to figure out with it perfectly level and down where I need to mount it, and then I have to figure out if I could also get it to go all the way up and stop. Because that would be really nice if I could just flip a toggle switch and it goes all the way down and stops, and flip a toggle switch and goes all the way up and stops. I could probably do that with the little leaf switches, but that requires work, and I am a big fan of not having to do extra work. This is extra work right now, but it's extra work I could appreciate. So basically, I'm just trying to get the screen level right now. And I'm doing that with my beautiful Maze American-made level and some stir-fry books. And the reason I'm using stir-fry books is because the weight of the screen is now free. So those hinges will get destroyed if I just let it swing and bounce off those hinges, which are all the way up there and very small, and they're not going to do it. So it's got to rest on something. And I was using 2x4s, and that was great. But now I'm trying to figure out how thin I have to make this stand to get it level. Thinner than that. I'm nearly out of pages in my stir-fry book. Maybe just one cover. That's not bad. Nope, thinner than that. I can see it's just gently bowed out. I may have to take the entire, actually I'll take the wok cookery book out. I'll put the stir-fry book only. I tried Wok Cookery, An Uncommon History of Common Things, and the Slow Cooker Bible. All were too thick. Still too thick. I just need to get it to rest down in a level area. So now I've got to make sure that's not going anywhere. This was the easiest way to do it. A little less than that. Let me see if I'm level on both sides. Not bad. Not bad, considering the size of this thing. Alright, we're gonna go through half the slow cooker book. Even less than that. Let's try no book at all, just for the hell of it. Huh. Pretty sure that 4x4 alone is what I need. Nearly perfect. Wow. Alright, so now I'm going to climb in there and do some geometry measuring. Geometry's fun. Well, after much trying and retrying, this is the final position of the linear actuators that we decided on. Top of the block, front face. And here was the decision. We couldn't find a place that made it, my roommate and I were just forever, an hour and a half, where it would close all the way and then open all the way. That geometry was not available to us because of either the wood placement here or this bracket in the corner, which, holy shit, is looking loose. Shit. I'll have to give that an adjustment. But, actually, they both... Nah, that one could be tightened. Actually, that one can be tightened. Whatever. Doesn't matter. It's holding up. Here's how it goes down. 2 linear actuators, 1 controller. Here's the controller. It was assembled from Amazon. And it's 1 switch. Right now, it's a double momentary. I'm going to replace that with a momentary and a toggle, because down hits. I had to decide if I wanted to go up and stop or go down and stop. And I wanted to go down and stop for the simple reason that I use my level and everything's perfect. Everything is perfectly level and straight when I mounted this. So now, here goes how long it takes to open this. What do you think, Kat? Keep in mind, I'm holding the button. I will have to hold the button to put it up. I'm gonna have to hold the button to put it down. It actually goes slow at first and speeds up at the ceiling. No. Yes. I don't know. 42 seconds it should be. I'll have to check the timestamp. Now as it pushes more vertical, you can see this is, at some point it's going to just try to rip that hinge straight up off the wall, so I have to stop it. It will not stop on its own. Oh, it's a struggle. There's the struggle. Wait for it. Wait for it. Done. I wouldn't go any further than that. Now, I'm not 100% sure of this. We're going to check it out one more time. I'm going to bring it down. And the last 2 times I've done it, because I made sure I tested this before it killed me on camera. The last 2 times I did it, this side came down first, and this side sort of had to catch up. So it landed and then straightened out. So we'll see what it does this time. I have to obviously fix this wiring. It's absolutely god-awful. I want the switch to be over there on the side of my equipment rack. It starts going slower and slower and slower as it comes down. Now. Yep, that lands first and this straightens out. So, if I didn't have it collapse to the bottom extent or top extent of these, it would be constantly in flux and twisting. That'd be bad. So you gotta make sure if you're gonna use linear actuators on any project, if you're using 2, make sure at least they open all the way together or close all the way together so that it resets. Because they shut off internally. Right now I'm hitting the button and nothing's happening because internally in the mechanisms they're stopped. So the other way they open. That jiggle's sort of annoying, but I don't think I can fix that. That jiggle. Tubers. And here is the 10 amp brick that I bought, although I think it could work on a 5. So next step is screen material. Hoorah. All right, a little addendum to this wonderful event. Um, these claim a static hold of 600 pounds each, and that is bullshit. Because if I push them all the way up to the ceiling, in about 2 minutes, they very slowly decline to that height. There. So I could push them up to the ceiling, zzz, until I stop them, and then it's just like I could just hear the gear in here just. And I highly doubt there's 1,200 pounds force there. I mean, it's a lot. Is it 1,200 pounds? Physics, man. I mean, we're real close to the hinge. Got quite a cantilever going on. I can't verify. It's just a note that if you are going to attempt something like this, that might happen. The only way I could think to fix that would be to get a very small, lightweight pneumatic lift support like I had, and just accompany this. Because it should be able to pull down. I mean, the weight of this coming down is going to crush that down with it. And pushing up next to it might just get it up to the ceiling. The 60-pounders I got from the Amazon would probably help. That's a lot of work for very little gain. A lot of work for little gain. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing that. I think I'm okay with it sagging to that height. Because actually, and this is me talking myself into it, if you stand right here, the profile of the screen is so small you don't even see it. Anyway, it's off into the bedroom now. To the Chubadoons. To straighten this garbage out. Because this is bullshit. Who the hell considers this a good wiring harness? No one. There's the screen down. I have it wired over to here. I've reduced that mess of crap into just output. I'm using 16 gauge speaker wire to get to that because it's plenty of gauge to bring that. Here is the plug-in with the power all split up, and here's where the switch is going. I just ordered it on Amazon because I want to have a momentary for up and then a toggle for down. I'm going to go toggle down and it'll just come down and I could do things, and it's just going to end and stop, and then when I'm done I can just toggle up. I could momentary up. Now, so yeah, it sags. It goes up and then it sags. And then last night I decided to give it a wiggle. Like, okay, it sagged, now it stopped. Wiggle, and it went with no power, no even things plugged into it, just to about here. So, these are not the best linear actuators. They don't cost much, and they work, but they won't hold this screen up. It's just too much cantilevered stress. So, remember these? The original pneumatic lifts? Well, they're going to sister this because they're 60-pound lift apiece, which means I can push them down. They're not super strong. They're not, you know, the quality ones from Lift Support Depot, but this should be enough help to keep these from collapsing. So, everything old is new again. So now I'm going to mount, I'm not sure if I'm doing it on the inside or the outside, but these are just going to sister right from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise the screen up, and I'm going to see if I mounted this. So this will work anywhere along this, because I'm mounting in the side, like I had done earlier. So now I've got to bring the screen up and then see where it lines up there. Ding, here we go. Oh, the humanities. Is it the most boring video? No, not even close. So those pushers will assist on the lift and hold, and on the way down, when I just had those, it was just crushed anyway, so it's just going to ride the weight all the way down. Come on. Oh, you can hear it. It's stressing out. It's as high as I need to go for this test. This is no good. This is no good. See, because if I wanted to go to the side there, oh god, that pushes it well above that. So that means I have to go back to, not the drawing board, but to that position there. You can see it's going down slightly. Alright, so I can mount as high up in this as I can, and I gotta mount this on the thing that I had it thinged before with the thing stuff. Alright, that's all I need to know. Here. It's still sagging very slowly on its own. So slow. So slowly. Oh god. Why couldn't they just work like things are supposed to work? I haven't beaten any puppies to death lately. Karma's a bitch. Karma's a bitch. Still unacceptable. Christ. I came, I saw, I kicked its ass. Here's the end result. So now I have the linear actuator here, and here are the pneumatic lift supports supporting it, giving just enough force to hold it up to the ceiling without any drop at all. I actually had the ladder with things stacked on it so I would see if it dropped, and it didn't. Here's a better look. Now I've reduced that bundle of crap. Here's the output to the motors. Here's the input of the 10 amp 12 volt. And this is where the switch goes. Eventually this should all end up in a box. I'll just have an in and out. And I ordered a momentary and constant toggle. For now we have to hotwire it like a car. See? Just stops. Just sits there. So now, the weight of the actual screen is just being let down by the linear actuators. And I know for a fact that those pneumatic lift supports don't have the balls to hold the screen up any higher than, like, wait for it, there. So right now, what's happening right now is the lift support, is the linear actuators are pulling down on the pneumatic lift supports, and since they're 225 pounds a piece, it's no problem. And then just done. And it actually pulls down much more evenly now, because maybe there's no weight in it. All right, that is that. The next step: screen material. I kind of am dreading it because I know everything goes wrong. Why not this? Why not the screen material? But at least it's in place. I'm going to put that block of 4x4 underneath it again. Make sure she doesn't jiggle. Doesn't look bad either. It's D-Day, haul ass, H hour. It's time to put the screen material on. Now this is the white, which I'm not using. But since I'm not using it, my friend Mr. Gimp here, what's up? Don't make me spank you. I'll spank you to death! Oh, before I do that, I put the felt tape I put here, that I wasn't gonna put here because I was putting the black. I put it here anyway because it does protect against those sharp ass corners. And it has the alternate effect of actually acting like Velcro. So you could just like rest it over there and she sort of just stays. Which is super nice. Now, like I said, we're not using the white, we're just using this as a test to see how we're going to handle it. If we're going to clamp it on, what we're using is black and ivory. Beautiful, beautiful ivory, which I haven't taken out of the box. This could have a giant pea stain right down the middle of it, for all I know. And as far as these wrinkles, they should either work out themselves or I may have to get a mister, try to shrink it a bit. Will be golden. And the black doesn't matter if it's wrinkled. So, white off. Lord Gimp, the third of House Tully. Could you at least grunt? Okay. Let's just put the black up there then. I thought we were going to have a hard time. We're going to have a hard time getting the ivory to stay because it's going to slide off of this. Yes. Yes. No. Yes. Yes. All right, let me get some clamps. This is your clamp. We're going to clamp to this vertical because we're going to end up trimming it there anyway. So as long as we've got a decent amount. Yeah, because I'm pushing into this slot and then this slot. So can you handle this, Gimp? Do better, Gimp! How much you got on the end? Plenty. Now, when we get the other one on there, then we're gonna move these clamps to probably these corners with them it pulled because it is spandex. I did buy it because it stretches, because it's gonna make it so much easier to get the problems out of it. I want to open this up. I want to actually look at the ends, see if there's a side that looks better than the other. Make sure there's no stains on it. Did I touch the ground? Mm-hmm. Any black marks that don't fly off? No? Let's see the other side. I think we're pretty good. Oh God, you lost your black. All right, let's hang it up. How much you got on the end? That much? That's perfect. Get it up. Yeah, this is gonna slide right off. So I got 2 more clamps if I wanted to do that, but I think I'm just gonna combine them here. Come on. Oh yeah. Well, Gimp works. I'll show you what I've got going on over here. Firstly, and most importantly, brownies. Second thing, these are 1/2 inch ID. No, I'm sorry, 1/2 inch OD, 5/16 ID vinyl tubes from Lowe's, and these are in very hot water. Well, it's not. No, it's hot enough for me to touch, and it's in there so it softens up because this is what's going to be pushed down into those. Fix it! Push down into those channels to hold the screen in place. And if you don't warm it up, they are super stiff. I actually hurt my hand pretty bad attempting to push them in without warming them up. So let's see, I'm going to pull one out. And I'm just going to pull it out, dry it off. I think we should start in the middle. What do you think? Good. We should be able to pull it left and right when we actually get it to define the middle. Who's smoking pot? Jesus. And like that. Yeah, we should be able to pull both the fabric and the tube to straighten out our problems. Do you see how well that's going to work? Oh my God, it's going to work so well. Especially when this cools down and stiffens up. Take it. We're gonna probably have to do this 6 times. So just start. As long as the people on the camera net, know how we're going to go down with this, we should be aight. Actually, I'm going to clamp this here. You might want to do the same. Oh, it's going to have to be adjusted and readjusted. The top piece will be the easiest to readjust, so we're going to get that on first. Way past. Did it expand in length? Are you close? It's got to come over to you. Let's hold on. Here, I'll work it down like a snake. Yeah. Oh, she's starting to cool down and stiffen up. That's what she said. All right. Chasing the snake. I don't want to grab this too much and put any dimples in it. The goal here is to touch it as little as possible. That's very little. If this gets too cool, I'm going to have to go and drop it back in the water. Hopefully we can get it in before that. Okay. Now I'm going to end up having to trim any of this off because this is going to harden and stiffen up in here, and that sticks off a little bit there. I don't mind. How much does it stick off over here? It's actually back a bit, and that might be good. Yeah, we can watch a movie now. Now it's movie time. Let's do the bottom. So let me go over here. Hot wire. Say when it's high enough. I think we should get it to like eye level so we don't have to fuck with it. That's a short one. These are the short ones. That's for the side. That's for the side. I sealed up the ends of these tubes with hot glue, which should have kept all the water out. It was a bubble or two, but I think it was just a love bubble. Those exist. And I'm not super worried about getting this wet. It is a fabric and it'll just dry off. Just want to keep this hot. Now we got to pull down quite a bit on both. Actually, get the clamp. No, just go right around. Go. We have a time constraint on this tube staying warm. All right. Start your tube. We got to do this from one end. Do it a little bit. All right. Go. Actually, I'll get behind the screen and do this. You having problems? Give me a grunt, goddammit. Oh, God. All right. You go behind screen. Keep pull. Just don't yank it against the thing. Just give it like that. Good. It's probably got to be straightened out at some point anyway. Yeah, we're getting lots of wrinkles. This is the manual labor part. Yeah, all those little wrinkles are going to have to be worked out. Probably going to have to take this off and on 2 or 3 times. I got to heat up this tube. You have no idea how hard this vinyl gets. Yeah, it's not going to be tensioned enough, but it'll be tensioned enough for today. Oh, this hurts. This hurts on camera. Oh, God. 7/16? Is that what I'm reading? Oh, 7/16 OD, 5/16 ID. I was wrong. She's definitely cool over here. All right, hold on, Gimply. I'm having a hard time now. This is work. Fuck work. I wasn't planning on recording all of this. But what the hell? You people deserve to see. Ow, the finger-breaking reality of it. There's a nice big crease right in the middle. Alright, it's in. It's a little messy, but it's in. Yeah. Things like this and this are going to have to be straightened out later. We got to get the sides on now. People. What's up, party people? I think it's working out fantastically. Here, you want to do one side, I'll do the other? Gimp burger. Should I have lowered it? Probably should lower it. I'm not going to put it down all the way because then we can't get by the speakers. The PSAs sitting here looking pretty. All right. Now we should be able to get those to like right there. Pull it back as much as you can, Gimp. The ends are going to be the easiest to take off and redo. They're also the warmest, so they're actually coming out on their own. Oh. Yeah, these ends have to cool off. The biggest complaint I was going to have is if Gimp didn't wash his hands. Gimp needed to wash his hands so he didn't get any stains. There we go. I'm faster than you, Gimp. I'm better than you, Gimp. It does help if you have a Gimp that you keep locked in a room so he can come out and help you with this. This is not a lot of this was a 2-person job. Well, I would say person, but he's not a person. Oh my God, you suck. Suck so bad, Gimp. All right. Okay, hold on. Ready? Okay. You pull while I work up. So how's the family? Good? Mm-hmm. And here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That's the rough end of the screen. Here's obviously got to be fixed here. But after that, and the trim, I do tomorrow. Soon. Wave goodbye, Gimp. You're bad at this. Oh, yeah. I don't remember which way I have to move my mouse. There it is. Let's see, if I was going to put something on... Oops, sorry if I'm covering the microphone. You need to see... Now, it obviously starts up like that, and then you just... 11 clicks downward. Oh my god, the colors are about to come in. I'm going to skip ahead. If you haven't seen Evangelion 333, you need to! Oh, Asuka's 8 feet wide. Yeah, that's seizure-inducingly awesome. Oh, the colors, man. Oh, God. Finally. Blade Runner. Oh, God. Please tell me Blade Runner's in widescreen. Now you play this game of is the movie I love.
Please don't move.
Oh, God. Blade Runner in 235-1. Oh, God.
As quickly as you can.
I can't let it... You can't watch these. Can't watch all these. If you so many, you can't watch them. Children of Men was a great movie.
You get your precious photos.
Caught it. Oh, God, yes.
Good to see you. Come.
Oh, Children of Men is 16:9, as you can see up top. Which means zooming out,
Quick. Oh, just when you're...
moving down,
Oh, fuck. That's disgusting.
zooming in. Bam. Still big enough for me. Still big enough for me. I'll do a final wrap-up video tomorrow when I trim the material. Alright, next day. I was up till 2 in the morning just randomly putting on 235-1 content and dealing with 16:9 content. And like some of the things I didn't even notice. If you ever watch the movie Interstellar and you really look, it's 235-1 anytime they're in the ship or with people. And then they switch to 16:9 for the quote-unquote IMAX experience for like outer space and bigness and the waves. And so I stuck it. I squeezed it into 235-1 and said, fuck you, Christopher Nolan. You're not that good a director that you could tell me what aspect ratio my movie is at any particular time. It must switch 40 times in the movie. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad not getting that height change. Those are for suckers with 16:9 displays. No. Full screen 235-1. Anyway, off of Christopher Nolan's ass and over here. Here's the extra that I have to now deal with. It's obviously down here and there. And I could just cut a knife and I could just run it across this and cut it, perfect. But I'm presuming that some point in the future, this screen material will have to come off. Some beautiful woman will be here, will be dancing, and then she'll just vomit red wine all over it. If it's red wine, I may have to just replace the ivory. But If it's, you know, a white wine or a vinaigrette or something, then I might be able to wash it in a washing machine, which is legitimately a fabric. It's a clothing fabric. It's stretchy, stretchy clothing fabric. So I want to be able to put this back on. And it's super easy to put on because there's, you know, 19 inches of extra material. So if I cut it to within, like, if I could cut it literally where the tube is holding it. And the problem with that will be I'll never get it back on. I'll have to stretch it and then stretch it again. And I like the tension it's at now. It's just right. So I want to keep more than nothing. Should I keep this much and then get more of the felt tape and then sort of tape it down? Because I don't want to have like a piece of fabric flopping around. The flopping around is a big problem now. So now I'm looking at these slots in the back. Because when I was designing this in my brain, I had to decide if I was going to push this hose in on the side, like I've decided to do, or if I was going to bring it all the way back here and then push it in on the back. So, like that little girl on the internet, why not both? So I know the hardware store here is going to rate me. I paid $9 for all this hose at Lowe's. It's probably going to cost me $25. But here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I cut it just past this line here. And I just fold around and do exactly what I did with this hose again back here. And this way the end, the actual physical cut end, is tucked away inside this channel. It leaves enough room that if I have to take it off and put it back on, I will have, you know, any amount of extra, and then I'll be satisfied. Here is where an issue occurs, is because I can't get this tucked up because it's where it's attached. Now I might be brave enough to come in here with a piece and a wrench and undo this and lift this off here, make this gap big enough to just get the fabric up. I don't know, it depends on how brave I feel. I'd have to do the same to the top, and it's a little harder to get to. I'd have to move this cabinet and do. I'm not worried about hurting the fabric. The fabric is pretty damn resilient and springy. Look at that. That's another thing. I have a feeling in like a year or so, this fabric might start to sag, and then I'm gonna have to pull. I have to pull at least the bottom and a side, and then retension, reapply, reapply, and then cut again. But it doesn't matter, because I won't steer you wrong, people. This is the best color reproduction I've seen ever on a projection screen. I've had real deal projection screens, not expensive ones, cheaper ones, under $500. I set up that giant Elite screens with the audio transparency, the 125-inch down the job in Manhattan, the museum, and I would never, ever recommend that screen to anyone. It just, the material was fucking, it was like screen. It was like a screen door, and you could see the patterning, and the color white was completely boring, and nothing worked. I didn't like it. White's a great, it could have also been the Panasonic projector. I never got to test it out on my stuff at home, but this ivory is just the right amount of off-white to make skin tones really shine. Colors, whites, when you throw white at this, white comes out. You throw black at it, black as needs to be comes out. So, yeah. Now I gotta go wonder if I'm gonna go and walk and get more tubing. Tubing. Yeah? What about it? Alright, people. Here is, I went out, hardware store, they only charged me 55 cents a foot. I've got, so now it's bead here, with the original bead. Now this is the slack bead. And I disconnected this with the pliers and the little thing. And I managed to run all the way over, all the way up. So now I'm just gonna be able to cut right there at that line. This obviously is only temporarily cut. The big bitch is gonna be getting that one, because it's slightly higher than I am. So, oh, I also use pencils and blue tack, even though it's not blue, it's blue tack, to hold the nuts in place while I loosed them. So, I will do a running total of the screen cost shortly. And now after all of that, dealing with all of that, with these little girl scissors trimming around the whole outside, I decided I was fed up, my hand hurt, and I pulled out my freshly sharpened Japanese knife, and it's just like, oh, da, 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 da. Oh god, that was bad. Tilt it this way. Oh man, let's redo this all over again now. I could be tighter than that. I'm working way above my head. It needs to be rewashed. Yeah. But yeah, trimming. Trimming is fun. Trimming is love. Killing myself. So far, this is the most labor-intensive part of the process. Do not slip into the screen or the speaker. I'm trying to think how to cut this, because it's like a roast beef, but harder to replace. Yeah, because there's no real way to. I could pull out this end and sort of tuck the extra under there, and then just squeeze it in place. That could all be done better later. Ah, shit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's get across now. Not cut. Do not cut. Keep in mind, this is just excess. None of this is actually structural. And of course, the hose ends a ½ inch early. I've got a little length of hose left. I'm gonna just cut a piece and shove it in there. Knife down, people. Finishing this up. All right. Completely usable in the day. Although, even the black spandex cannot completely block the sun. And obviously it gets exponentially better at night. But usable right here during the day. Samurai. It is completely leveled and sharpened, and I calibrated it a bit last night, and it is gorgeous. Hey, there's my burning mouse cursor that I made back, like, was I in high school? I don't know where I was, but I made that, and I animated it. And I still use it to this day. That's how badass I am. If you're tall, let's climb the ladder. So there's Captain Projector. Shooting down. You could see the bits on top where it's overshooting the screen. That's irrelevant when I'm playing movie content or TV content, because Media Player Classic will just shrink it. But, if I could figure out a way, I don't know if it's even possible to set the Windows resolution so that it ignores like a big strip of, what was it, 100 and, it's 180. It's a 1080 height, and I need it to be like 240 pixels less. Just deal with it. This is why I got full screen programs down there. Because right now, all this is good for is movies. I can't do any. If I want to bring a web browser over there, I got to shrink the web browser down manually and then use it in the slot. There's no way around that with a 235 to 1 screen. No way.